Welcome, I'm Bev Adams. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And today I'm going to show you this cute little gift bag, a little mini gift bag. And it's using my Getting Started Challenge supplies. Many projects, few supplies. And as I show you how to make this, don't worry about the measurements and all, because you can just print out your directions at bevadams.com. So let's get started. You're going to need a full sheet of the Designer Series paper that's 4.5 by 6.5 and a matching scrap. I'm going to use this side as the outside of my bag, and I want to fold over a bit, and you're going to need a straight edge or ruler. And so but we're not going to do a whole lot of measuring. You can measure it if you'd like, but I'm just going to fold over this edge so that I can have a top border on my bag. And I'm going to roll it, so I need to put some adhesive on the very edge. Now if you're using a liquid glue, you're going to need to hold this for a while. I'm going to fold this over, and you want to match the top of your bag as best you can, and then get it as straight as possible. It won't be perfect. I'm going to come back in later and add adhesive there, but I want to fold right at this edge, like so, and then fold it flat and crease it nicely. I'm using my bone folder, but you can use your nail or maybe even a credit card. And then I'm going to decide this. So this is going to be the back of my bag. I want to decide about my dimensions for my little mini bag. You can get anywhere from 1/4 of an inch deep to pretty much square. And depending on how wide and how deep your bag is, that's where you're going to fold it. So I'm kind of looking at this side to decide how deep I want my bag. And I'm going to just pick there and crease that. So now I've got my box sides, and I need my box bottom, and I want my bottom to be the same size as this. So I'm just kind of looking at this and trying to make this a square. If you need to err on the side of a rectangle that's longer than it is wider here, and crease that. Now I want to trim my sides, and so I'm going to snip a very narrow triangle from the edge to that crease. I'm going to open and flip it around and do the same on the other two sides at the bottom. Okay, now remember, this is the back of my bag. And so I'm going to fold down the sides, and I'm going to put some adhesive on those sides. Put my adhesive on when it's flat. And I want to try not to put that down on my paper. And I want to make sure where my back is. Fold the back side over the sides, and then the front side, and I want to get this adhesive all the way to the edge of the paper. And there's my little mini bag. Now I want to make a tag, and I'm using this basic size of my tag, the basic shape of the tag. You could use any of the little tags that come in the Tag-A-Bag kit, but for this bag I thought it was too big and I liked the shape, so I'm going to stick with it. And I cut out a white tag, and I'm going to cut the coordinating designer series paper with a little bit of a border around it. And I'm just kind of freehanding that. And now I'm going to stamp my greeting. And this greeting could be any of the greetings that are in Something to Say. I'm using Love You Always. And I'm going to sponge around. Now I've got ink on my stamp, and I might as well kind of do double duty, starting to clean some of that ink off and getting it on my sponge. And no matter whether you've inked your stamp with a marker or with a stamp pad like I did, this is a good way to get ink onto your sponge. Now I need a hole in it, but you can use any punch, a regular household punch you may have. Then I'm going to put dimensionals. And like always, I'm going to put my dimensionals on the smaller piece, so I know they're not going to stick out. I'm going to tie a bow around my box or my bag, and you're going to need about 18 inches. The way I figure out how much I'm going to need is I kind of actually make a bow, a loop and a tag, and I start my wrapping there. And I like to use an alligator clip that you may have in your garage, or you can get them from the hardware store. They're very cheap, and that gives me an extra hand. For my bow, and if I fuss with that, it'll even get prettier. We have separated out our cord many times, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time showing you how to do that, but I just like a little bit more delicate cord. I'm going to fold my cord in half, and this is probably longer than I need. This is probably 10 inches, 12 inches. I'm going to poke it down into the hole in my tag. Reach up through the loop and grab both ends. And then just one more little detail. I'm going to take a scrap of that same paper and punch a heart, and I think I'm going to turn it around so I can see my pattern. And then you're going to need just a partial dimensional, so I'm just going to take a little piece of a dimensional, stick it on the back of that heart. And there's my cute little bag. I just love it. Thank you for stopping by. If you would like the supply list and the dimensions for everything, and also the approximate sizes of your bag, come on over to bevadams.com and you can print out your own directions. Love you always. Thank you for stopping by.